Most people don't realize this, but the first 10 minutes after you wake up can shape your entire day, and over time, your entire life. It's not the big dramatic choices that create lasting peace. It's the quiet, almost invisible ones. The way you breathe when you first open your eyes, the thoughts you allow in before the world gets loud, the energy you choose to carry before anyone else has a chance to shape it for you. In Buddhism, the morning isn't just the start of another day. It's a sacred opportunity to align your mind with your values. The Buddha taught that the mind is like a garden. If we don't tend to it early, the weeds of stress and distraction will take over. But if we care for it with mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude, it becomes a place of peace we carry with us into everything we do. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 6 morning habits inspired by Buddhist wisdom, practices that are simple but deeply powerful. Whether your goal is to feel more grounded, reduce anxiety, or just start your day with intention rather than noise, what you're about to learn can truly shift the way you experience life. And if you've ever felt like you're rushing through your mornings, just trying to keep up, this is especially for you. Before we dive in, I want to gently ask for a small favor. If you find peace or insight in what we're building here together, just hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it tells me this kind of content matters to you. Also, I really encourage you not to skip around. Every habit builds on the next, and missing even one could mean missing the shift you've been searching for. So stay with me. Let's take this mindful step forward together. There's something incredibly powerful about those first quiet moments when you wake up. Before the notifications start, before the noise of the world returns, before your mind leaps into everything that needs to get done, there is a brief, sacred window of stillness, and what you do in that space matters. The Buddha often taught that the mind is most impressionable in the early hours, like a soft clay that can be molded before it hardens. If you begin your morning scattered, your entire day tends to follow that same rhythm. But if you start grounded, with awareness and intention, you lay the foundation for clarity, peace, and presence. That's why, in Buddhist teachings, breath is one of the first things we return to. It's always there. It asks for nothing. It doesn't judge, it doesn't rush. It simply offers an anchor to the present moment. And the beauty is, it's always with us. You don't need a quiet room, incense, or even much time. Just attention. Just the willingness to be here, fully, with your breath. There's a well-known story of a monk who confessed to the Buddha that he was overwhelmed. From the moment he opened his eyes, his thoughts raced. His responsibilities, his fears, his expectations, they all came crashing in at once. He felt like he was drowning in his own mind. The Buddha listened and asked, "When you wake, where do you place your attention?" The monk admitted it went straight to his duties, his goals, his obligations. The Buddha smiled gently and said, "And this is why peace escapes you. You hand your morning over to the world before you even belong to yourself." That story stays with me because it speaks to something we all experience, handing our attention away too quickly. The breath, however, brings us back. When you focus on your breathing first thing in the morning, you reclaim your mind. You step into your day rather than getting swept away by it. Practicing mindful breathing isn't complicated. You don't need to be a monk or a meditation expert. It can be as simple as sitting up in bed and taking 3 deep, conscious breaths. Inhale slowly. Feel the air entering your lungs. Exhale gently. Feel your body relax. Let your mind rest on the rhythm of your breath. If thoughts come, that's okay. Just keep coming back to the inhale and the exhale. The breath becomes your anchor, a gentle tether to the now. From a Buddhist perspective, the breath is more than air. It's awareness. It's a living reminder that we are alive in this moment, not in yesterday's regrets, not in tomorrow's fears, right here, right now. And when we meet the day from this place, we respond rather than react. We begin from peace rather than stress. Even science supports what the Buddha intuitively taught. Research shows that just a few minutes of slow, mindful breathing can reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, improve focus, and lower blood pressure. It calms the nervous system, creates mental clarity, and even improves emotional regulation. It's like giving your brain a clean slate every morning. Let me tell you about Sarah. She used to wake up with anxiety almost every day. Her phone was the first thing she touched, checking emails, messages, and the latest news before even getting out of bed. It felt like the world had her before she had herself. But after learning about mindful breathing, she made one small change. No phone, just 3 deep breaths first thing in the morning. That alone changed her mornings. And as her mornings shifted, so did everything else. She felt calmer, less reactive, more in control of her own energy. Some mornings it's not the traffic, the deadlines, or even the people that make life feel heavy. It's that quiet ache of something missing. You wake up, go through the motions, but inside there's a feeling of lack, not always in big ways. Sometimes it's subtle, like noticing what you don't have before you appreciate what you do. And that's where the shift begins. In Buddhist philosophy, the root of suffering is often traced back to craving, to the endless pursuit of more, better, newer. We chase what's missing and forget to see what's already here. The Buddha taught that by redirecting our mind away from grasping and toward appreciation, we begin to dissolve that inner tension. Gratitude, in this way, becomes a powerful spiritual tool, not just a mood booster, but a path to peace. When we talk about gratitude in Buddhism, we're not just talking about saying thank you when something goes our way. It's deeper than that. Gratitude is a way of seeing. It's a practice of recognizing the impermanence of life and choosing to honor the blessings that are already in front of us, no matter how small. The Buddha once explained to his followers that true wealth doesn't come from possessions or status. It comes from contentment. And contentment begins with gratitude. When we start the day with this mindset, we carry a different energy into the world. We stop waiting for things to be perfect. We start appreciating the moments as they are. And let's be honest, this isn't always easy, especially when life feels overwhelming. Sometimes the hardest time to practice gratitude is when we feel we have the least to be thankful for. But that's also when it becomes the most transformative. There's a story in Buddhist tradition about a man who approached the Buddha, troubled and unhappy. He listed all the things going wrong in his life, his worries, his losses, his pain. The Buddha listened, then quietly said, "You suffer because you focus on what is missing, not what is present." He encouraged the man to start his mornings by naming just 3 things he was grateful for. At first, the man struggled, but slowly his focus shifted. He began noticing small blessings, a warm sunbeam, a kind word, the breath in his lungs, and on noticing, he began to heal. This is something we can all do. Right after you wake up, before checking your phone, before reaching for coffee, pause. Ask yourself, what are 3 things I can be thankful for today? It doesn't have to be grand or poetic. It can be your bed, a good night's sleep, a favorite song, the fact that you have one more day to be alive. If you write them down, even better. Keeping a small gratitude journal reinforces this mindset and helps you return to it when the day starts to pull you in different directions. Over time, this becomes a habit, not forced, but natural, and it changes how you see the world. Science supports what Buddhism has taught for centuries. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress, better sleep, and improved relationships. Their brains actually begin to rewire, focusing more on the positive and less on the perceived lack. Gratitude doesn't just change your thoughts, it changes your biology. It anchors you in abundance. There's also a beautiful way to deepen this practice by silently sending thanks to the people in your life. You don't need to message them or make a big gesture. Just bring them to mind and offer a quiet thank you. Maybe someone who supported you or someone who taught you a hard lesson, even someone you've lost. This softens the heart and deepens our connection to others. The Buddha taught that everything is interconnected. Every kindness, every challenge, every breath. Gratitude reminds us of this web of life we're a part of. There's a quiet kind of suffering that many people carry, one that isn't always visible on the outside. It's the emotional heaviness that comes from holding on to anger, judgment, or even self-blame. Maybe someone hurt you with their words. Maybe you made a mistake you can't stop replaying. Or maybe, like so many others, you just wake up with a heart that feels a little closed, a little guarded. This is something the Buddha understood deeply. He didn't teach that life would be free of pain, but he did show us a way to meet it with softness instead of more pain. And one of the most powerful ways we do that is through compassion. Not just for others, but also for ourselves. In Buddhism, compassion isn't just a virtue, it's a daily practice. It's not about pity or feeling sorry for someone. It's about seeing clearly. It's about recognizing that every single person is carrying some form of suffering just like you. When we wake up in the morning, it's easy to immediately think of all the things we have to do, all the pressures, all the responsibilities. But what if we started the day by tuning into our heart instead? What if we asked, how can I be gentle today, with myself and with others? There's a story in the Buddhist tradition that speaks to this perfectly. One day, a man came to the Buddha, overwhelmed by rage. He spat in Buddha's face, expecting anger, confrontation, something to fight against. But the Buddha simply wiped his face and looked at him with calm eyes. "Is that all?" he asked, not out of sarcasm, but out of understanding. That moment of non-reaction, of pure compassion, stunned the man. He'd never been met like that, and something in him shifted. That is the power of compassion. It doesn't mean accepting abuse or staying silent. It means responding from wisdom rather than from hurt. It means choosing to see humanity instead of just offense. One of the ways we can practice this every morning is through loving kindness meditation. It's simple, but incredibly healing. You sit quietly, and in your mind, you repeat a few soft phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. You start with someone you love, then someone neutral, then someone you're struggling with, and finally, you offer those same words to yourself. At first, this might feel unnatural. You might feel resistance, especially when offering it to someone who's caused you pain. But with time, it gets easier, and something begins to soften in you. The Buddha taught that compassion is one of the 4 immeasurables, qualities of the heart that, when cultivated, make life lighter, more connected, and more peaceful. Alongside loving kindness, empathetic joy, and equanimity, compassion helps free the mind from the prison of me versus them. It teaches us that we are all part of the same fabric. Your joy is not separate from mine. Your pain is not foreign to me. We are not alone in this world, no matter how isolated we feel. Modern science backs this up too. Studies show that people who practice compassion meditation regularly experience lower levels of stress, greater emotional resilience, and even improvements in physical health. The body responds to compassion. It relaxes, it softens. Your heart rate slows, your immune system improves, but perhaps more importantly, your relationships begin to change. You stop seeing others as threats or obstacles. You start seeing them as human beings, imperfect just like you, doing their best with what they have. And what about compassion for yourself? That's often the hardest part, isn't it? But Buddha was clear. Self-compassion isn't selfish, it's necessary. You cannot pour love into the world from an empty vessel. If you speak to yourself with harshness every morning, if you carry guilt or shame silently in your heart, How can you offer true kindness to others? Self-compassion means meeting your own pain with care. It means telling yourself, it's okay, you're learning, you're healing. There's a strange kind of heaviness that follows us when we move through life without direction. You know the feeling, when the day begins and suddenly you're pulled into tasks, conversations and problems, before you've even had a moment to ask yourself what you really want to focus on. It's like waking up and immediately handing over the steering wheel of your mind to the outside world. In Buddhism, this is the difference between being reactive and being intentional. One scatters your energy, the other gathers it. And the truth is, most of us aren't tired because we're doing too much. We're tired because we're doing too much of what doesn't align with our deeper values. That's where the power of setting intentions comes in. It's a quiet practice, but one that brings incredible strength. The Buddha taught about right intention as one of the steps on the Noble Eightfold Path. He spoke of it as the foundation of mindful living, a conscious decision to direct our thoughts and actions in ways that create peace both within ourselves and in the world around us. Right intention isn't about rigid goals or strict rules. It's about clarity. It's about choosing the kind of energy you want to bring into your day and allowing that energy to guide your choices, your reactions, your presence. When we wake up and immediately think about what needs to be done, we're operating on habit. But when we pause and ask ourselves who we want to be, we shift from autopilot into awareness. So how do you make this shift real? It starts with a moment of stillness. After you've done your morning breathing or reflected on your gratitude, sit for a moment and ask yourself, what matters most to me today? Maybe today you want to be more patient. Maybe you want to meet challenges calmly. Or maybe you simply want to stay grounded, no matter what happens around you. Choose one clear intention and gently speak it to yourself. You can write it down if that helps. It might sound like, today I will respond with kindness, or today I will stay focused on what I can control. This small act of choosing helps center your mind and prepare it to act with purpose, not impulse. The beauty of intention setting is that it gives your mind a reference point for the rest of the day. When stress arises, as it always does, you have something to return to. That intention becomes your inner compass, gently guiding you back to what matters most. You'll start to notice how this changes your reactions. Instead of being swept away by every mood or frustration, you'll pause more often. You'll remember your intention. You'll begin to choose your response instead of being controlled by the moment, and that changes everything. There's a story in the Buddhist tradition of a teacher who used to start each day in silence. He would sit, close his eyes, and reflect on just one question. How can I serve today with wisdom? He didn't rush this process. He knew that how he directed his energy at the start would ripple into every interaction. Over time, his students noticed something. He wasn't just calm, he was consistent. His presence was steady, and his teachings felt grounded. That's the power of intention. It doesn't just change your day, it changes your presence. Even science supports this. Research on intentional living shows that setting a daily intention helps activate the part of your brain responsible for focus and decision-making. It trains your awareness to filter out the noise and pay attention to what aligns with your goal. So while the practice may seem small, its effect is powerful. There's something powerful that happens when we slow down just enough to notice how we're moving through the world. Most of us wake up and immediately start rushing, from the bed to the kitchen, from the kitchen to the car, from one task to the next. And in all that movement, we forget to be present. We forget that the body isn't just a vehicle to get us from one place to another. It's sacred. In Buddhism, the body and mind are deeply connected. When we become more aware of our movements, we naturally become more aware of our thoughts. The Buddha often reminded his followers that mindfulness is not just something you practice sitting cross-legged on a cushion. It's something you bring into every moment, including the way you walk, stretch, and move through your day. One of the most overlooked opportunities for mindfulness is in those quiet early morning movements. Think about it. Your body has just rested all night, and it's slowly waking up, getting ready to carry you through another day. This is a delicate moment, a chance to reconnect, to show gratitude for your body's strength and function. The Buddha once emphasized that we should care for our bodies not out of vanity, but out of respect, because our bodies are the very tools through which we experience the world, cultivate mindfulness, and help others. They are, in many ways, our first temple. When we move with awareness, we are honoring that temple. So what does mindful movement look like in the morning? It's not about doing an intense workout or achieving some perfect yoga pose. It's about tuning in. You might stretch your arms slowly overhead, feeling the pull along your sides. You might walk slowly to the kitchen, noticing how your feet touch the floor. You might roll your shoulders back and breathe deeply, paying attention to the space that creates in your chest. The key is to move with intention, not out of habit or rush. As Thich Nhat Hanh, a beloved Buddhist teacher, often said, "Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet." That is the essence of mindful movement. And when you move this way, something surprising happens. Your thoughts slow down, your breathing deepens. The anxiety that sometimes creeps in, the moment your eyes open, starts to dissolve. Instead of feeling pulled by your to-do list, you feel anchored. Instead of drifting through your morning half awake, you begin to feel truly alive in your body. This is what it means to unite the body and the mind. This is where clarity begins. Studies even support this ancient practice. Research shows that even a few minutes of gentle, intentional movement each morning can improve blood circulation, sharpen focus, reduce symptoms of anxiety, and boost mood. The effects are both physical and emotional because in Buddhism, we don't separate the two. When we care for the body with awareness, we are also tending to the mind. And the beautiful part is, this doesn't have to take long. Just 5 to 10 minutes of mindful stretching, walking, or breathing with movement can shift the energy of your entire day. Take your time. Feel every motion. Move slowly and notice what changes inside you when you do. This isn't about adding more pressure to your morning. It's about adding more presence. And with that presence comes peace. Food becomes just another task, a thing to check off the list between getting ready and rushing out the door. We scroll through our phones while chewing, barely tasting anything, and by the time we're done, we're not even sure what we ate. It's almost as if the meal never happened. But in Buddhism, eating is not a background activity. It's a mindful ritual, a sacred moment, a chance to return to the present and express gratitude for the nourishment we receive. When the Buddha taught mindfulness, he didn't limit it to meditation cushions or temples. He spoke of mindfulness in all things, including how we eat. There's a famous teaching where the Buddha observed a monk who ate quickly and carelessly. He asked him gently, "Do you taste your food, or do you only fill your stomach?" That simple question holds incredible power, because when we eat without awareness, we miss more than flavor. We miss the deeper connection. We miss the gratitude that naturally arises when we reflect on the effort, care, and interdependence that made our meal possible. The farmers, the earth, the rain, the people who transported and prepared it, all of these invisible threads come together in one plate of food. Buddhism invites us to see that, to honor that. And when we do, even the simplest meal becomes a spiritual experience. So how do we bring this practice into our lives? It starts small. Before your first bite, just pause. Look at your food. Really look at it. Notice the colors, the shapes, the smells. Think about where it came from. Then, without rushing, take one bite and let it be the only thing you focus on. Taste the flavors. Chew slowly. Breathe between bites. No distractions, just presence. This is called mindful eating. And even if you only do this for 5 minutes each morning, it can radically shift your relationship with food and with life itself. Many people report surprising benefits from this simple practice. They feel more satisfied with less food, their digestion improves, their anxiety around meals lessens, but beyond the physical, something more subtle and beautiful begins to unfold. A quiet joy, a sense of reverence, a feeling of being in tune with the world, not rushing against it. In Buddhist temples, even a bowl of rice is approached with deep gratitude. It's never just food, it's life, it's nourishment, it's the present moment made visible. Take Nick's story, for example. He used to eat breakfast in his car, one hand on the steering wheel, the other on a breakfast sandwich. Every day started in a blur, and by noon, he felt drained and disconnected. After attending a mindfulness retreat, he decided to try something new. He began waking up just 10 minutes earlier, sitting down with his breakfast and practicing mindful eating. At first, it felt unfamiliar, but slowly, something changed. He noticed his mood lifting, his energy stays more balanced, and most of all, he began to actually enjoy his mornings again. That one shift rippled into everything else. His work, his relationships, his peace of mind. No matter how chaotic the world may feel, peace always begins with one quiet choice: how you show up in this moment. Your mornings can be more than just a routine. They can be your refuge, your reset, your return to self. The Buddha taught that a peaceful life doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins when the mind awakens. And that awakening starts with the small things, done with great presence. Thank you for being here, for walking this path with me, and for choosing stillness in a world that rushes. If today's video spoke to something in you, take a moment to watch one of the suggested videos now. It might be the next step on your journey. And as always, thank you for being a part of Buddhist journey. Until next time, may your path be gentle and your mornings full of peace.